Where's the Reavers, baby? We're going to the top, baby.
Fires down the middle. There's Waters wide open. Waters to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown. Takes the handoff, and now Munoz loses the ball. The Reavers scoop it up, and that's Jeff Grell. Jeff Grell's going to score the touchdown for Iowa Western. Now looking to the left side, Marquise Hill. Touchdown, Iowa Western. Quarterback throwing to the corner of the end zone. Can they get it? Yes, they can. Marquise Hill, touchdown, Iowa Western. Iowa Western football, undefeated and #1 entering the month of October. Hello, I'm Jake Ryan, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coach Stroh Show. Today we'll talk with the head coach about last weekend's game with Georgia Military and what lies ahead for the Reavers in their final non-conference tilt of the season on Saturday as they take on Arkansas Baptist. We'll also welcome in a member of Iowa Western's offensive foundation and discuss running for your life with the Running Dead 5K. It's the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show, the Coach Stroh Show from 89.7 The River and CBTV 17, the proud flagship stations of the Reaver Sports Network.
So here are the keys.
Congratulations, it's officially yours. I'm sure you'll have many happy years here.
Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. So you won't be around for them. And sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test, but you didn't have it. Okay, who wants to check out the backyard?
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
We welcome you into the DirectProAudio.com studio at 89.7 The River and the set of CBTV 17 on the beautiful campus of Iowa Western in Council Bluffs. I'm Jake Ryan. We're joined now by head football coach Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, congratulations on another big win and another week ranked #1 in the country.
Appreciate it.
Well, Saturday was a little bit interesting for a while. Georgia Military kept pace. You scored 7, they scored 7. You scored 14, they scored 14. You go into halftime with what could have been a big lead, sitting at only 6. What did you talk to the team about at the half?
Well, it took us a little bit of time to even digest all that went on in that last few seconds, I guess. But I think the biggest thing was we made some mistakes, didn't capitalize offensively. Part of the credit was due to Georgia Military. They're a good football team. But I think, we challenged them. We knew that they weren't gonna quit, and we challenged them at halftime just to see what we're kind of made up of. First time of being within a touchdown, a one-score game at halftime. So it's really just challenged them and to see how they're going to respond in the second half. And I think they came out and responded pretty well. Well,
obviously you guys got things figured out on offense, scoring 55 points. But it seemed like after the first initial couple touchdown drives, did that defense kind of throw you off and take a little bit of getting adjusted to? They ran that 3-5-3 with those dog defenders, kind of that hybrid with the linebacker and corner. Did it throw you off a little bit as far as the schemes went?
Well, it's always tough, just because, and they mixed some things up after those first few drives. I suppose maybe they started off with something, and when we capitalized and got some big plays, then they changed some things up. So it's a challenging defense. There's a reason why they've won a few national championships and why they're a successful team. It's hard to prepare for, and I wouldn't say that our guys got complacent by any means. They made some plays and changed some things up on the defense side of the ball.
Oh, you guys changed a few things up as well. Jake goes over 300 yards again through the air, but it was really his running that kind of changed the momentum of the game.
Well, we know. Jake's a good runner, and we haven't used him partly because we really haven't had to, and not that we're just saving it, but when the right opportunities come. And before this game, we met with Jake, and I told him that we might be using your legs a little bit more, and we got him on some things that they never thought that they've never seen on film, with him running the football the way he did, and we just wanted to utilize him, and he had a good day, running the football, which is another weapon that is tough to prepare for defensively.
Well, one of the most impressive runs of the day was his touchdown run where he kind of got behind a couple of your players and kind of bowled his way into the end zone. That was a very impressive run. Another was the shovel pass. Was that a designed play where he could have done that, or was it just the option that he chose to take at that time?
It was just the option. The play broke down, and he had a receiver sitting out on the flat, and so he basically just tried to bait the defender to come to him so he could get it to him, and it was just kind of a heads-up play, and you know, making, like I said, we had to see guys could make some big plays in the big game, and he made a few.
Well, speaking of big plays and big playmakers, Dion Long, another huge game, 239 yards, only 2 touchdowns. That broke his string of 3 straight where he had 3 touchdowns. Had some trouble getting off the field at the end of the first half, and then after he scored that big touchdown to start the second half, kind of fell down where he was. Big cramps, but another big day for Dion. He sets the season record for receiving yards in a season through 5 games. I mean, that's just another one that's added to his tally. 50 catches on the year, 97 completions by Jake. I mean, is this what happens when that weapon gets taken away? I mean, nobody seems to have done it yet, but you've got those other guys waiting, Andrew and Martez and Geronimo waiting. When do you think it'll happen?
Well, I kind of envisioned some of it happening this past weekend, really, the way they were playing. But we got a couple big ones. And again, we have to get him the ball. We got to get all of our guys, you know, the playmakers, the ball. And he's the one right now. And some of the things, he may not be the #1 option, but if Jake sees a coverage and an opportunity, I have a pretty good idea where he's going to go with the football. And at some point, and we talk about it, at some point, the teams are going to just send 2 guys over to him, which is okay now because now they're short on the other end. So it's going to open up some things. We try to put a defense in some challenging they got to make a decision. Do you want to leave them back there one-on-one, and which a lot of teams have done, and which leads to 50 catches, or do you want to put another guy over there maybe to take that one away, but now they're -1 to the other side. So that's what we're trying to do offensively is formation them a little bit to make them play their cards, and then we decide what we're going to do from there.
No, big numbers are coming for everybody else, that's for sure, when they decide to go ahead and do that. Let's talk about the defense a little bit. Terrell Porter, another monster game, led the team in tackles with double figures. He seemed to be around every single play. His evolution, a lot of people don't know, he played running back in high school. So talk about his evolution. Obviously had a monster year last year when he played for Grand Rapids. This year continuing to lead things from the middle linebacker spot. Just talk a little bit about how he continues to have the evolution of playing offense to playing defense and playing it so well.
Well, and actually when we recruited him, or when he was here in the spring, his old Coach Anise, who was at Grand Rapids, asked me if Terrell tried lobbying to be a running back like he did at Grand Rapids the first semester when he got there. But so he's fairly new to the position still. But I think the thing that sets him away is he plays with such high energy. He's only got one speed, and that's to go fast all the time. And a great addition to the defense, and all the guys are feeding off each other. But it's nice to have a guy in the middle that, I mean, he's going to run. He's going to run, and if he doesn't do the right thing, he's running anyways. So, but he's having a heck of a year, and really kind of the leader of the defense.
Well, he's fun to watch. You got another defender that was a running back too that lobbied, and in fact won that lobby last year. Rodney Coe having a heck of a year. Steve Meyer got a start at when you move Travis Green to strong safety. Steve Meyer gets to start at linebacker. He had a heck of a game as well.
He did, and we talked about it in our staff meeting on Sunday. Just pleased. One, he's a student of the game, and so a lot of the people maybe don't see, they see him on the field, but he really studies the game. We felt he was a guy that we wanted to get on the field a little bit more, and because him and Travis playing the same, and they're both playing well, so you got one on the sidelines, one on the field, and Travis was really the only one that could move, and Travis took it, and it may be he was a safety last spring. We moved him to backer. I think his best position's backer, but in betterment of the team, he was okay with playing safety, which is kind of nice, when you got players that are willing to do whatever it takes for the team. So we're pleased with the progress that we're making, and like I said, Steve stepping up and having a heck of a game is really encouraging.
Well, he found himself in on some plays Travis Green did from that strong safety position. Rashad Dunnigan got caught a little bit early, not looking at the ball, got whistled for a couple of flags early on, but he seemed to turn that game around on Saturday and really started to play well towards the second part of the first half and then the second half as well.
You have to have a short memory at the corner position, and it's just one of those things. They had some good receivers. They went at him. I think there was some technique things that, and Rashad would be the first one to admit, but at the same time, it's just one of those games, and their quarterback threw the ball well, A couple of them, there was good coverage on them, and they just put it in the right spot, and it was they were going at them. And you know, good offenses, that's what they're going to do. If someone's having an off game or they feel that they can get something, they're going to go at them. We'll do the same thing. If we feel a corner's not having their best day, we're going to go at them and keep going at them and take some shots. And but he bounced back, and I think that's what you got to have a short memory at that position, because if you get down, it could really get ugly.
Well, it was good to see him bounce back as the game went on. Let's talk real quick about your special teams. We always talk about Lance and we always talk about Jake and the fact that the return game is good. Let's talk about your coverage team this week, because they had a couple of really fast speedsters back there in their starting tailback, Alford, and also their backup, Mauricio Askew. Really, those guys didn't do much of anything, and we saw on the film a couple weeks back that they had a pretty good couple long returns, including a touchdown. So let's talk about your coverage team. They did an excellent job, at least from our perception in the booth.
Well, and I would agree with you. I mean, going into the game, number 5 is a guy that really concerned me, and how can we contain him? And then you see him on the kickoff team, and I wouldn't say our kickoff coverage has been bad, but there's some holes that we needed to get fixed, and we went at him a few times, and he returned them. But I'll credit to our kickoff coverage team. They did a heck of a job of just not giving him that lane, because you've seen on a couple of those runs, if he's got a little lane, it wasn't good news for us, because he was pretty fast. But they did a heck of a job, not giving up, because that's what Georgia Military had a lot of success with, is getting those big plays in the special teams game as well. Well,
Coach, congratulations on another win, 55-35. Arkansas Baptist this week, and we'll look at them coming up in the show, all right?
All right, thanks.
All right, that's it to look back. For the rest of the show, we'll look ahead. We'll give the coach a breather and welcome in a member of the Reaver Pipeline in just a bit. Next, though, we'll sit down with head softball coach Lana Ross and talk about zombies. The Iowa Western Football Coaches Show continues after this on the Reaver Sports Network.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed.
From the DirectProAudio.com studios and the set of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, I'm Jake Ryan. We welcome in now a head coach that celebrated her 400th career win here at Iowa Western last spring, head coach of the softball team, Lana Ross. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
First time that we've had you on, and I do have other things I want to talk about, but first I want to talk about your team and how fall ball's going and how you're progressing towards spring. You got a lot of firepower that you've got to replace from last year's squad, so tell us a little bit about who's back, and then of course the newcomers and how they're going to fit in.
Well, we don't have many back. We lost a lot of our sophomores last year to graduation, so we've got a few back. We have our shortstop, Jenna Gonzalez from Texas. She'll be a great sophomore leader for us in the infield. And that's about it in the infield. That was it. Becca Sanchez from California is going to still hold down left field for us. And we do have Vanessa Molina back, who is also an outfielder. Taylor Jonas is a catcher, and she's also back. But that's it for sophomores. I mean,
bunch of new faces, huh? A
lot of new faces.
So who are we going to be seeing a lot of and hearing a lot of as the spring gets closer?
We do have a D1 transfer kid in, Casey Miller. She's actually an Omaha kid. And she'll be behind the plate as well. She's doing a great job for us so far. Who else? Right now, got Michelle Trulin. She's going to play center field. Fast as all get out. She's going to help us out on the base path a lot. Ashley Schmidt from the Kansas City area. Right now, she looks like she's going to be our #1 pitcher, taking over for Greta. Throws a little harder than Greta. She's got some great movement, has done really well this fall. I'm expecting a lot of good things out of her.
Good. All right. And, February will be here before you know it. So I know that a lot of preparation goes into the fall and getting to see them on the field here as we get a little bit closer to colder weather. I mean, I hear snow possibly Saturday morning. So that's not good news. But here's the good news is that you've got some things to occupy you other than softball. And one of them is the big event that you and Coach Watts from the wrestling team are kind of joining with a couple of community members called the Running Dead 5K. And this will be out at West Fair Fairgrounds. Tell us a little bit about how this began kind of morphed into the Running Dead, because you guys were going to put on your own run initially.
Right. We were going to put on our own run. We knew it was going to be small to start with. But then, you know, we got contacted by, you know, a few people in the community that were also doing a run the same day. And they didn't want to step on our toes. We obviously didn't want to step on theirs, so we just combined our efforts, and it's still going to be a great fundraiser for us. It's just going to be a lot bigger now.
Well,
so
tell us exactly what it is, because I'm hearing flag football belts and zombie makeup. So what is the Running Dead 5K?
The Running Dead 5K is like a zombie race. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be going out and you're trying to get your best time ever. It's not a personal best type of run. There will be a lot of zombies on the course. There are either going to be some slow zombies, there will be some fast zombies. We're going to have a safe zone where you can spend a couple minutes in the safe zone. But the whole point is, if you can get through the 5K with a flag still intact, you're eligible for prizes. But it's just going to be, there's going to be some obstacles on the course, nothing major, nothing where you're going to be jumping over, you know, a 10-foot wall, nothing like that. No fires.
No barbed wire.
Nothing like that. It's just supposed to be a fun run where we can, you know, get a lot of people out that are going to support, you know, support us, support the community, and it should be a lot of fun.
And so far, I hear that there's a lot of response for people that not only want to do the run, but also people that want to come out and be zombies.
It's amazing how many people want to be zombies. That was like the biggest thing initially when we put it out. All the emails and contacts were about they wanted to be zombies. So I guess we have a big zombie community. I don't know, but we've got a lot of volunteer support, which is great. Obviously, the wrestling team and the softball team are all volunteers because we want, you know, we're actually getting some money for a fundraiser out of it. But a lot of the community has been great. They're going to help us out, and you know, it should be a fun day.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Are you going to get some zombie makeup that day? What's your role that day?
No, I'm not doing the zombie makeup. Well, I think we have enough zombies, you know, but we'll be there. We're going to check in a couple days prior because we do actually have a lot of people running now in all of the waves. So we're going to have the check-in a couple days earlier, which emails will go out. But anything that you want to find out is on therunningdead5k.com.
And you can get signed up right there.
Get signed up right there. However, spots are filling very, very quickly.
And there's 4 different start times, correct?
Right now there's 4 different start times. If we do get more than what we were expecting, we'll open up another wave. So, but if you want to run in it, have a great day. There's going to be a big bash afterwards with, you know, food and drink and all. We have a DJ on site, all that good stuff. Just get signed up as fast as you can, and if we have to, we'll open up another wave.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, hopefully we'll get you in some zombie makeup and get some pictures put on the web.
We'll see about that.
Head coach Lana Ross from the Reavers softball team. Again, it's the Running Dead 5K, and it takes place on October the 27th out at West Fair Fairgrounds. TheRunningDead5K.com. That's TheRunningDead5K.com gives you all the information, and you can get signed up right there. It is a fundraiser for not only softball but also wrestling as well. So make sure that you get signed up and come out for this fun event at West Fair Fairgrounds on Saturday, October the 26th. Well, we have got one more segment, and then we'll get back to head coach Scott Strohmeyer. Chad Awney will be in the chair when we come back. He'll welcome a member of the overworked and underappreciated Reaver offensive line. The Coach Stroh Show continues when we return on the Reaver Sports Network.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
The Coach Stroh Show continues on the Reaver Sports Network. I'm Chad Awney from the DirectProAudio.com studios and the set of CBTV 17. I'm here speaking with sophomore offensive lineman Mike Smithberg. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Glad to have you here. Can you talk a little bit about the success you guys have had? You're ranked #1 for the 2nd straight week in a row. And are you guys going to feel a challenge from Arkansas Baptist this weekend?
The season's been ridiculously fun so far. And yes, Arkansas Baptist hung with Georgia Military, and everyone saw Georgia Military challenged us quite a bit in that first half last week. So it's not a team we can look over. Can't really look over anybody at this point in the season.
Okay. And just talk a little bit about the how fun it is to play with some great offensive guys and be blocking for guys like Jake Waters and Aaron Wimberly and Deion Long.
Just watching those guys in practice and especially in the games, it obviously makes my life a lot easier as an offensive lineman, blocking for a guy like Wimberly. I mean, he's so fast and he doesn't really dance around. He just hits the hole so hard and don't have to be on the field very long a lot of the time, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Have you had any looks so far from schools? I know some have shown some interest. Can you talk about who's interested in you playing at the Division I level?
I have 4 Division I offers, 4 official offers at this moment. Just Memphis, Western Kentucky, Akron, and Western Michigan have offered me so far. And Iowa State and West Virginia have showed a little bit of interest, but nothing official yet, or no and not real interested. But
well, I wish you luck in your endeavors after Iowa Western. I think it'd be really cool. I'm an Iowa State fan myself, so I'd be rooting for you if you decided to go there. Got to ask you now, a lot has been said about this beard here, a great looking beard, and even brought up the expression "fear the beard" a little bit around campus and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about how long you've been growing it and kind of just elaborate on it a little bit?
Well, I've been growing it since January 2nd, I believe, and my plan is to go a year, but depending on where I go to school after this, if I were a Mountaineer like West Virginia where I kind of want to go, I'd probably keep growing it. It would fit with the mascot well, and I don't know, it's just been kind of a fun thing. And if we make the national championship, which is our overall goal, the offensive line gets to pick what color I dye it. So it could be blue, it could be green, it could be blonde, I don't know. That's kind of up to them.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. Do you think that defensive players lining across from you, do you think it's a little bit of an intimidation factor when they see a big guy like you with a big full beard staring at them?
I like to think it does, but I think with a lot of the guys we see in our league, especially like the D linemen we've been seeing this year, I don't think it bothers them too much. Okay. But maybe some guys it does, maybe a few linebackers or something.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming and stopping by, Mike, and good luck against Arkansas Baptist this weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Chad Ani here from the DirectProAudio.com studios in the set of CBTV 17. When we return, Jake Ryan and the head coach are back to wrap up the show on the Reaver Sports Network.
Beautiful, isn't it?
You expect options everywhere else. Why not with your medical treatment? Talk with your doctor to explore all your options and find what's right for you. Visit ahrq.gov.
We're back on the set of CBTV 17 and the DirectProAudio.com studios in Council Bluffs. I'm Jake Ryan, rejoined now by the head coach, Scott Strohmeyer. Coach, 4 regular season games remaining, and although Arkansas Baptist has been discussed as a conference member, potentially, they are still an independent. They come in to this game. What do you know about them? What do you know about the Buffaloes of Arkansas Baptist College?
Well, we've seen I think they played Ellsworth, Iowa Central, and Georgia Military. So of all of our opponents, we got all that film, and they got some athletes. We're expecting a long game. They throw it. They're 5 wide receivers and throw it all over the place. And defensively, you know, they're pretty similar to what we do. So we'll go a little bit of our ones-on-ones this week in practice. And but like I said, we're taking it one game, or you know, the next opponent. We got to get better. We got to shore up some things, but at the same time, a lot of the same things we do offensively and we do defensively.
So very similar to the Reavers as far as what, a 4-3 defense, and they run a spread as well?
Yep, they're all 5. I mean, I'd be surprised if we see a running back in the backfield much. The last 2 games, they've been pretty much all 5 wide receivers, just drop back and they're throwing it around. They do have some good receivers. They got some athletes, you know, that have some weapons. So well, hopefully up front we feel that, you know, we can control them maybe a little bit. We have to get some pressure on the quarterback, and it's going to be a good test for our back end, our secondary, and our linebackers in coverage, you know, this week.
A 11 a.m. game against the Buffaloes of Arkansas Baptist. That'll be an early start, and we've got the pink out game. So you've got your pink tape, I'm sure, for your socks that you're going to wear under your pants, and you got a pink Reaver hat to wear as well.
I don't have one of those. Do you know where I could get one?
I bet we could get one made if you really were serious. We'll talk to Craig Kitt about that.
All right.
Number one for the second straight week. Were you nervous coming in this week to see how it would go?
You know, I don't know if I'd say nervous. You know, like I told our team, we haven't proven really anything because we are given the number one ranking after a bye week, so we haven't really defended it. And I was pleased. I was a little bit concerned coming in, obviously, with all the hype and the things, you know, on Monday and Tuesday, or waiting for the polls. But our kids responded. It was good to get that one over with. Now, hopefully, we can just set it aside and play the next game. We don't have to worry about sitting in that, being the first time in that position. But you know, like I said, our kids were focused. They were ready to go, and I don't foresee it being something that we'll worry about late, you know, in the future.
Well, obviously, you control the wins on the field. Does point differential factor into that at all? As far as the human pollsters still need to be impressed.
For sure, and I don't the scoring, the difference between the two. I don't think it really matters it doesn't in the computer rankings. In the human poll now, I suppose there's some. I mean, you've seen the last 2 weeks. There's some number one first place votes that have changed. You know, we went from 3 to 4, and I'm trying to think.
I think Arizona Western lost theirs.
Western lost theirs, and Butler lost one as well. You know, so that's about the only thing. You know, and but like I said, it's interesting. Like I said, you don't know. You got to take care of one game at a time. I told our kids, there's no guarantees for nothing. We got to take care of this game, and wherever the chips may fall, that's where it's going to be.
Okay, Coach, good luck on Saturday. We'll talk to you right before the game.
Thank you.
There's head coach Scott Strohmeyer, head coach of the number one team in the country for the second straight week. That wraps up another edition of the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. We do it every week, and most of the time from the comfy confines of the set of CBTV 17. We are going to get out of that comfort zone in a couple of weeks, though, and we will film the show outside with a live audience for homecoming week. If you'd like to be part of that experience, we encourage you to put on your Reaver gear, make up some signs just like you see on game day across the country, and join us at the Iowa Western Student Center on Thursday afternoon, October the 18th. Again, the show will begin at 12 noon, so make sure you're early and get in place to be part of the many exciting things that Iowa Western has happening on campus. That is homecoming week, and we'll be jam-packed with another great show. Thank you to all of our guests that stopped by and took time out of their day to be part of the program. As always, you can stay up to date with all things Reavers on Facebook and Twitter at GoReavers, and of course online at GoReavers.com. For Chad Awney, the hardworking crew of CBTV 17 and the Electronic Media Studies program, I'm Jake Ryan. This has been the Coach Stroh Show on the Reaver Sports Network.